Welcome to your Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix preview. So let's waste no time and jump into what's been going on in the weeks beforehand and what we should be expecting for this coming weekend. Well, to start off, after an incredible race in Brazil and a lot of chaos falling in favor of Max Verstappen, it looks very unlikely that Lando Norris has any chance of winning this championship. That said, though, there is still a possibility. There is every chance that Max Verstappen will be crowned a four-time world champion in Las Vegas this weekend. As he leads title rival with Lando Norris by 62 points heading into the weekend, all he needs to do is equal him on scoring, meaning the title could be decided on Saturday night. To keep his hopes alive, Lando Norris must outscore Max Verstappen by 3 points, and that obviously means that they're relying on Max to DNF and have him win and get fastest lap in all the rest of the races. Now, moving on to the other Red Bull driver in Sergio Perez, there's evidently been a lot of speculation about where he'll be next season, and it's shaping up that there is a highly likely chance that he won't be racing at Red Bull, or now it seems even in the sport. Sergio has revealed that he has turned down other contract offers to remain with Red Bull, the Mexican having signed a new deal in June of 2025. But it is highly thought that he's already in breach of whatever it was in that contract, meaning that he could get released with no problems. Evidently, they've all got clauses within their contracts that if you don't meet certain expectations, then you're free to go, pretty much. And it seems more than likely that that will be the case. Unfortunately, he has just time and time again continued to struggle for form, and it seems like next week will be his day off, but it never is. And he's only got 3 races left to have a day off. And in the end, he might have quite a few days off if he can't find a spot for next season. According to an interview with GQ, Perez was approached by 2 other teams who he turned away. And at the moment, that decision to not go to a different team looks highly likely to have been the one that actually ends his career, as Franco Colapinto and Liam Lawson will be battling for that second Red Bull seat. And look, if I was Sergio Perez and I was offered to stay at RB, I probably wouldn't either. So maybe Perez is on for his final laps out, but there's more on that to come, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. Now, we've got some news for the calendar from 2026, as Monaco and Canada will be switching places on the calendar, with Monaco being held in June and Canada being brought forward earlier in the season, such that it can be paired with the Miami Grand Prix and have less traveling times and reducing that carbon emissions, as they aim to go net zero. Their goal to be completely carbon neutral by 2030. And as far as other changes go, we've got a few things moving around in the world of media, as Damon Hill has announced his stepping away from Sky Sports. After 13 years with Sky Sports, Damon Hill, the world champion of 1996, will be hanging up the microphone. And he has been pretty critical as well. He hasn't held back, and I think that's something that maybe he's now feeling a bit of the pressure of. Backed by his own experience and intellect, of course, but critical nonetheless. And potentially controversy sparking, especially in the new era of British bias. And with that said, I think it's time we take a little step into the deeper side of what is going on in this week, as we hand over to our favorite journalist within the sport, Matt Koch. Matt, what have you got for me, my friend?
A strange story broke during the week. Stefano Domenicali was reported as leaving Formula One and joining MotoGP instead. Stefano is the CEO and president of Formula One. He's been in the job for a few years now and has done some really good things on the commercial side of the sport. He works for Liberty Media, which is in the process of trying to buy MotoGP, but that's not yet a done deal, and it won't be a done deal until at least December, once the European Commission looks into the purchase. Let's assume it goes through, and it probably will. Liberty Media will own Formula One and MotoGP, sort of kissing cousins at the top of the motorsport pyramid on 2 and 4 wheels respectively. But where does this Domenicali story come from? Well, that's anyone's guess. It's coincidental that the timing of it happened around the same time as Liberty Media's annual Investor Day, and also news that CEO at Liberty Media, Greg Maffei, is stepping down. He's been in the job for 19 years. It was an unexpected announcement, highlighted by the fact that John Malone, the founder of Liberty Media, is going to have to step in the interim. Suggests that that wasn't in the works, that wasn't something that was planned longer term. It's curious then to wonder what has happened behind the scenes to foster these rumours. For now, Stefano Domenicali, as far as I'm aware, has a contract until at least the end of next year, and discussions there are reportedly ongoing. There have been some structural changes at Liberty Media as well, leaving Formula One really the only hen in the henhouse as far as its business interests now go. There's been spin-offs into other standalone entities, so Liberty Media basically at the moment means Formula One, and that's led to suggestions that maybe the sport's for sale. Now, they've been rejected, but they persist.
So with Matt's amazing input there, let's go back to what's happening this weekend at Vegas. Of course, we raced in Vegas last year, and people think that it's the first ever race in Vegas, but that actually is far from the truth, as they raced oh way back when. They raced in Vegas in 1981 and 1982, then named the Caesars Palace Grand Prix in a car park of the casino. It was quite the unpopular circuit at the time, but now they've evolved it to run straight down the strip, and I think it does bring some entertainment. Maybe it goes over the edge in terms of the flamboyancy, and I think the drivers aren't too fond of it either. Let's see what they do in the ways of parading this season. It's going to be entertaining, but I enjoy watching it. A bit of a hate watch. They go way too far with it, and it's just a little bit awkward. As far as the history of it, well, you know, they didn't run it after 1983. It was too unpopular for Formula One, but IndyCar used the track for a little bit there, and it sort of slipped away. But it's back, and hopefully it's back better than it was last year. Last season, there was zero grip. As we saw turn one of the race, everybody slid off. I mean, Fernando Alonso just went right off to the spin. Nobody made turn one, and it was extremely chaotic. It made for good racing. I mean, the drivers probably hated it, but from a fan's perspective, it wasn't too bad in the end because it was just a lot of chaos. Personally, I think the track is a little bit stupid. The straight is obnoxiously long, and DRS trains are ridiculous. But again, I won't judge too soon. Let's give it a chance. It's only had one season. Hopefully there's some grip on the track, and hopefully this time they have the drain covers properly secured, and Ferrari can get through and not have to take any unnecessary penalties. The FIA weren't too kind to Carlos last year, so let's see what happens this season. Max Verstappen has all the chance to win his 4th World Championship. And before we sign off, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, your predictions. So first of all, it's time for me to give my predictions, and you guys can let us know your predictions in the comments below. First of all, I think the winner of the Las Vegas Grand Prix for 2024 will be Charles Leclerc. I think Ferrari was really strong around here last season. They've been having some really good form in the recent races, and I think with the pressure on McLaren and Red Bull and Mercedes I think Ferrari have all the chance in the world to bring this one home. And in second place, it's a man who has next to no pressure on him right now. It's Oscar Piastri. I think he'll just cruise on through, have a nice weekend, P2, and Lando Norris in P3. I think he'll scrape on a podium, but I don't think it will be enough to keep the title really alive. Let me know yours in the comments. So let's see how our predictions play out after the fact. These could age really well or really badly, but you guys let us know what you think we're going to see happen this weekend in the comments down below. And of course, stay tuned for all of the live updates through speedcafe.com, and we'll catch you very shortly to have a little reflection on what is about to unfold. Stay up to date with everything as it happens on social media too. We'll be making videos throughout the weekend, and we'll see you next week for yet another Formula One Grand Prix. Thank you guys so much for watching this race preview brought to you by the Ford F-150.
America's favorite truck is here. The Ford F-150. Go big.